I lost everything. That dog was a final gift from my dying wife.
Jonathan, you got out once. You dip so much as a pinky back into this pond, you may find something reaching out to pull you back in.
It's personal.
Where'd you get that car?
What does it matter?
It's not what you did, son. It's who you did it to.
Nobody?
That nobody is John Wick.
Hey everybody, welcome to You've Watched This Podcast. I'm Alan.
I'm Ryan.
And I'm Devon.
And today we are talking about what everyone is going as Halloween this year. It's October. This is a good way to start off the month. Number one costume of the year has got to be John Wick.
Patrick Warburton? Oh.
No.
That's my costume this year.
Is that your costume this year?
Patrick Warburton? Yeah.
Can you do the voice?
I've been working on it just a little bit.
Get in there.
I'm there. I'm like 80%. I'm like 80%.
My one buddy Mike does that voice very well. I have to send you a video of him doing it, playing Fortnite.
Ask for tips. I need tips.
Yeah. So that's your Halloween costume. Ryan, what's your costume going to be?
I don't know yet.
Dude, it's October. What the hell?
Yeah.
I'll figure it out
You've got like 3 weeks to figure it out.
I'll figure it out last minute.
Gotta hurry, man.
That last week, you're not going to be able to find anything.
That's because if I was going to go as anything you could find at a Halloween store. I typically don't do that.
What was your costume
You go
last
with
year?
like ironic things?
Well, I guess last year, pick a costume. I guess I would have to go. The last time I dressed up as anything was Fry from Futurama for that Comic-Con we went to.
That's right.
That was the last time I
like
dressed
that.
up for anything. I'm really trying to come up with a cosplay for my Division character that I play in my video game, but it's kind of expensive
That's
stuff
cool.
I've got to buy.
I thought about doing a cosplay for the one character I play as in Fortnite, but it's just a Star-Lord costume, and I already have that, so really no work at all. It's Star-Lord with a scarf, pretty much.
He's going to dress up
that
and
makes
go to
sense.
the local elementary school because that's going to be the only other people dressed up in Fortnite costumes.
Yeah, well. No, I have my costume picked out. I can't say what it is, though, because it's a surprise. You guys know what it is, but
I
I'm not
can't
saying it on the show. Let's just say my wife is not happy about part of it.
I don't know if I know what your costume is.
You know. She's not happy
I
about
don't.
what. Yeah, it's from something that we've talked about on this show in the last few months. So
I can't wait to see then.
anyway, we're going to talk about the first John Wick, a film that Ryan had never seen.
True.
I
I don't know what else to say to that.
It's good.
It's the concept of the show.
Yeah, I know.
So
Yeah. You did it.
so Devin, you had seen this before. When was the first time you saw this? Was it in theaters?
So I heard of John Wick when it first came out. People were like, oh my God, Keanu Reeves is so good in it. And I went, yeah, it's going to be a dumb action movie. I don't care. And then Romana's dad came to visit and he made us watch John Wick 2 when it was in theater. So I watched number 2 before number 1, loved number 2, then went back and obsessed over number 1. And I've seen it probably 5 to 7 times in the last year.
Number one.
Number 1. This is like after seeing it, like I bought it on DVD or Blu-ray and just keep watching it.
Nice.
I
I
have a
saw
problem.
it once when it first came out on home video because everyone was like, oh my God, John Wick's amazing. So I
Yeah.
watched it then. I was like, oh, this is good. And then I haven't seen 2. And the first
Oh.
time I rewatched it was the other day with Ryan.
Have
But
you seen 3?
I've not seen 3. I've not seen 2 or 3. I wanted to rewatch 1 before I watched 2, and I wanted to watch 2 before I saw 3. So now I'm at the point where I can watch 2 and 3 together. So
Now we can do episodes on all of them.
Yeah.
We're doing it, boys.
living the dream. Well, I want to get to 3 because I feel like that's going to be in our best of the year episode at the end of the year, which we're closer to than we are like the previews for this year. So
That's crazy.
I haven't seen 2, but I did see the New York Comic-Con panel for 2, where they brought out the director, Keanu Reeves, and Ian McShane.
Was it amazing?
It was amazing, but I was not there for that panel.
Oh no!
I was there for the Power Rangers part of that panel because it was all Lionsgate.
Yes.
So they brought out like the new Power Rangers and the director, and they showed the trailer that they released online that morning. So I had already seen it. So like, what's the hell the point of coming to the panel if you already showed me the trailer? But I got all the posters, which I was okay with. Actually, no, I didn't get the Black Ranger.
Oh,
I got all the posters for the Rangers except for the black one.
did his run out first, or like you couldn't find him?
His ran out first.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
I'd have fought someone for it.
But yeah, so I got to see Keanu. I got to be in the same room as Keanu Reeves.
I'm so jealous.
That
dude.
day, I was in the same room as the Power Rangers, Keanu Reeves, Ian McShane, and Matt Damon. Like Matt Damon, the Great Wall panel was right before all this, so we walked in on that.
Interesting panel. Was it attended?
It was, surprisingly, and it made the movie look good. I got this souvenir coin for the Great Wall that I have. Like
Yeah?
I feel like that's already worth nothing, and it's just gonna get worse.
Did you see the movie?
No. Did you?
No.
No.
Did you, Ryan?
What movie?
The Great Wall.
I
Matt Damon fighting monsters on the Great Wall of China.
probably saw a preview for it and was like, "Oh, that's interesting." Then just automatically forgot about it.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. So Devin, you said you were going to get emotional at the top of this. So have at it.
We didn't. Oh,
Yeah, let's
I
just
mean,
get this
you know
done
I'm
and
gonna
over
get
with.
emotional.
Okay. So the big thing with John Wick, if you haven't seen the movie or you have been living under a rock for a while,
Devin's
he lives in
I
New
got my head
Jersey.
in my hands, guys.
So Theon Greyjoy kills his dog.
He kills the freaking. There's no reason that dog did nothing to you. It was adorable the whole time. Ugh. Sorry, I'm mad.
Yeah.
Oh, and they show it was like bleeding, and it crawled its bleeding ass over to him, and it cuddled.
Yeah. Like that, like rewatching it, I noticed that this time. I was like, oh my God, that's so painful.
That's how you get me invested in a movie. Ryan, did that immediately invest you in the movie?
But knowing that the dog died and knowing the circumstances around it to begin with sold me on the movie before even seeing it. And then of course,
really?
And then of course, seeing it happens, like, yeah, I can see why everybody gets upset about this. Like, that's seriously my feeling towards it, because I used to be one of those people that would get so upset at like an animal dying, but now at this point, knowing that it's a CG dog or it's a puppet or it's not real, like it doesn't really affect me anymore like it used to.
Well, at least they don't show it happen.
Yes.
Well, they don't show it crawl over, but they show it get punched. They show it technically get kicked.
They show it get shoved. They don't see it get hit, that it gets killed. You hear it off screen.
Yeah.
Like it's a thud. And I think not seeing it suffer is even more painful.
Yeah.
Because it's like him like react. You get his reaction, and it's so powerful because of Keanu.
Oh yeah. We'll talk about that.
Which, can we say that it took his career how long for somebody to say that scene was so powerful because of Keanu? Because for so long, he's been a surfer bum. Like, that's who he was. Even after The Matrix, people were like, oh, he's just playing himself.
Outside of John Wick, what do you guys think of Keanu Reeves from? Like, first movie,
Matrix.
Matrix?
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Okay.
I've never seen those.
I've never seen those either.
That was like his
so, like, I
first
don't know.
stuff. See, I've always seen him as just that, like a California version of Wayne from Wayne's World. Like, that's pretty much what Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure is Wayne and Garth, not in Chicago, but what if Wayne and Garth grew up in California
Instead of Aurora.
Yeah, and instead of Aurora, that's who they are.
I think of Speed
I get
because
that.
I think I saw that before The Matrix.
What was it?
Speed.
Oh, I've never seen Speed, so I
Bomb on
don't
the
even know him
Bus?
from that.
Oh, that's on the list.
Yes, Speed's
Yeah.
on the list, and Speed is, like I said, he's still playing. Like, I still see it. I see him as the California surfer bum teenager that became a cop because that was something that he could do.
Yeah,
but
like grow up.
But he still had that like California surfer like attitude that he had from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure was in his character in Speed to a point.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's one of the. I love Keanu now, and he's become a great actor. I'm just saying, I find that sentence to be like, who would have thought that sentence would be like a thing about him as an actor?
Here's a hot take. I think the internet's too much in love with Keanu Reeves.
It is.
Oh, 100,000% they are.
Not that there's nothing to love there. He's a great guy. He's gone through some shit. He seems like a cool dude. Super talented. Happy for him. Internet needs to calm down a bit. Like I think
that internet needs to calm down a bit is like a rule of thumb.
Yeah, but especially towards Keanu. Like he has his own Fortnite skin twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the whole E3 thing where you're beautiful. Like that's a cool meme, but it just needs to die. Like it just needs to stop.
They like put him in a video game. Like that didn't happen.
I mean, I'm fine with that, but I'm not going to buy that game just because of Keanu.
No.
I was
going to buy the game anyway.
I didn't even see Keanu because of Keanu, so why would I? Remember that Key and Peele movie with the cat named Keanu?
No, I don't remember that movie.
Oh, it was like right before. It was between Key and Peele and Get Out. Key and Peele had a movie called Keanu where they have a cat that they named Keanu, and I'm pretty sure at one point the cat is voiced by Keanu Reeves.
Wow. Oh, that's like that hurts.
That's gonna go on the we've never seen list for any of us. Have you seen it?
Okay, good.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
I mean, to be fair, I barely I know that it's a movie, but I don't remember anything about this.
Okay. All right. So I really enjoyed this movie.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of just nonstop action. So I kind of get bored in those scenes, but everything in between those, I love. The dialogue, the reactions to everything that's going on in this movie is what sold it for me. Like your son just walked in with a car that he stole. Oh, it was John Wick's. Shit. And then that's the end of the conversation. Like just the wittiness of the dialogue and the conversations and what happens in this is what draws me in. Like it's so clever.
Or like that Or like when he calls him, or he calls John Wick, and he's like, "Look, we don't have to resort to violence. Like we don't, just calm down. It'll be okay." And John Wick just hangs up on him, and the guy from the insurance commercials is like, "What did he say?" And the guy goes, "Enough."
Yeah.
Like, oh boy.
It's like if a shitty 90s movie like Face Off was done right.
I don't want to hear that.
Huh?
I like Face Off. Face Off is the epitome of a purely 90s body count action movie where you throw two popular named actors for like their base salary request and you just let them go at it.
Yeah.
What more needs to be done in Face Off?
I mean, if it was taken seriously.
Fun.
It was probably taken serious. But at the same time, do
Anything
you really
with
take a
Nicolas
movie
Cage.
serious with both of those actors in it? Like, how can you? You've got Nicolas Cage and John Travolta. It should not be taken as dead seriously as, let's say, like the movie Commando with Arnold Schwarzenegger in it.
I don't even think Commando's taken seriously.
No, it is, and that's its problem.
I don't know. That whole shot of like the biceps lock, like the arms locking with the biceps sweating. I don't know how seriously I take that.
That's because it's an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie and they took it a bit too seriously for what it was. But still, Face Off is not a shitty movie.
I'm not saying it's a shitty movie. I'm saying this movie is like if they weren't just
I think I know what you're going for. Because like the point
I
of
knew
Face
what
Off
you
is here are these two huge actors let's just let them have all the fun in the movie. And this one is like, let's take these pretty well-known actors, and instead of just letting them have fun in the movie, let's build a lot of stakes and put a lot more thought into this movie than it itself deserves.
Yes.
Because like,
let's build this world and then just have fun in this world, not just let them go crazy. It's like that's established this universe.
Like a whole universe around these characters who are ultimately just going crazy. Like,
yes.
I totally agree with you. I just wanted to get at you for saying
it.
that Face Off was a shitty movie. I'm sorry. I have to.
I'm going to take your face off.
Papa's got a brand new bag.
So wait, Ryan, you've been quiet. What did you think about this movie?
I've been waiting for somebody to ask me what I've been thinking.
Yeah, what did you think about it?
Okay, so as Alan said, the first time I saw it was with Alan Monday morning. Since that seems to be a good time for both of us to actually see these films.
Yep.
And right from the get-go, when they take the stolen Mustang into the shop, and the look on the guy's face, I forget his name, but he's in Moulin Rouge, and he's in
John Leguizamo,
and he's also in Land of the Dead, which I love him in that, but that's a different story. Anyway,
Devon? What's the first thing you think of when you see John Leguizamo?
Was Moulin Rouge.
Oh, okay. Am I the only one who thinks of Super Mario Brothers, the movie?
Oh my God, that was him.
Actually,
wasn't it?
for me, it's tied between Moulin Rouge and the fact that he played the clown in Spawn. It goes back and forth depending on
that was him too.
my mental state.
So what I'm hearing is, yes, I'm the only one who thinks of Super Mario Brothers.
Yes, you are.
Damn it.
Okay,
I
so
love that you do that.
when he goes into the shop and he sees the car and he pauses and he goes, "Where'd you get this?"
Mm-hmm.
They didn't let you know if the guy in the shop was like a good guy, a bad guy, what type of relationship he had with the Russians that pulled into the shop. Just his reaction alone was made me happy, because I've been waiting to see an action film where everybody, including the antagonist, is like, "Oh shit, I'm dead."
Yeah.
Like, I've been waiting for that, because even in like the most hardcore action movies that you can find up until now, there's always somebody who looks at like the hero and doesn't see him for how good or strong he is. Like, nobody really, like you still have a handful of people who don't acknowledge the skill set that the person has that's coming after them. In this film, everybody does. And just like everything that you were saying, like how he asked a question and he didn't say anything. And then the Mayhem guy was like, "So what'd he say?" And then he said enough, and because nothing was said, because nobody needs to say anything. Everybody's going to die, and they know that.
Yeah.
I love that. And I think I told you that after we saw it. Like, I've been like, everybody just acknowledges the fact of like, "Oh God, we woke up death." Like,
Woke up the boogeyman. Yeah, I think another thing that works really well about this movie is that they take the typical action movie tropes and kind of flip them. Like they play with the typical action movie a little bit. So you have those reactions of, "Oh shit, where this was a mistake."
mm-hmm.
Whereas normally it would be like, "Let him come.
Yeah.
He won't make it past my gods."
Right, like he wasn't an arrogant villain. He's like, he knew what he started.
It's got a great cast. I forgot Willem Dafoe was in this.
I did too. I mean, this is like the third time I watched it.
I was going to say, you watched this like 8 times. How did you, if you forgot?
Yeah, like this time I caught him, but
you
like,
need to go see a
he's
doctor.
the one part I keep forgetting.
Yeah. Every time I see Willem Dafoe, I just think of that line from the Weird Al song. He's wearing that dumb Power Rangers mask, but he's scarier without it on.
He is, though.
The fact that they put him in that mask and when they cast him as the Green Goblin is the biggest mistake they made in the Spider-Man trilogy. And I'm counting Spider-Man 3 in that.
I would say the whole trilogy, really?
Yeah.
It's a bold claim.
When you got a face like that and you put him in a mask that doesn't emote at all. Like,
that's a good point.
They had like animatronic masks that they were going to put on him that would have been a lot better for the Green Goblin.
Yeah.
But
And see, I liked it because I went into that movie with the cartoon,
yeah,
and he wore it was basically a mask, and so I liked it. I don't know.
I just think it was a missed opportunity to have him. Like if you could cast him now as the Green Goblin and do like a motion capture thing and make the mask like animate with his face, but have it still be a mask.
Yeah.
And I think that'd be cool. But okay, we're John Wick.
I love that we went down that rabbit hole, though. I like where that went.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about the dog a little bit more. Because
Yes.
I really like that it's not just because of the dog. He has
Right.
that moment later in the film where he's like, that dog was the last gift that my wife gave me, and it showed me that I could love again. And then your son come in and just killed it. Like, I was starting to feel better, and your son's like, no, you can't be happy. Like that whole mindset is what gets me like hooked in this movie.
That
Like
whole
that's
scene.
like that's peak Keanu. Like,
Yeah.
is there anything in 2 and 3 that tops that?
As far as emotional height and emotional stake, no,
Okay.
there isn't.
How
It's so
about
good?
How about performance wise?
Oh yeah, performance-wise, definitely. But as
Okay.
far as like gravitas of the situation, yeah, definitely.
All right. I know broad strokes of what happens in 2 and 3. I think
Huh?
part of it you told me, but
Yeah.
I still don't know like details. So I know like Lawrence Fishburne shows up.
Yeah,
Um,
and so does Jason Mantzoukas.
Oh wait, what? I didn't
Yeah,
know
he's
that.
in it.
Oh damn!
Yeah, he's in 2 and 3.
And I didn't know he was in both of them. Ooh.
Yeah, he's in both.
Guess
Neat.
what I'm doing tomorrow?
I hope so.
Editing a podcast because we've got a bunch in the bank. All right, so let's talk about the Continental.
I love it. I love this idea of like this assassin's place where they can all just chill, and they blow that part out of it in other movies. But I love what it is.
Yeah, I was surprised rewatching it with Ryan because I turned to him at one point. I was like, "So what do you think of the Continental?" And I guess there wasn't enough information presented at that point to know what was going on there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he jumped the gun a little bit on that one. I'm like, it's a nice hotel. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. I thought it was established earlier in the film than it was, but it's not to like the kind of the end of the movie where you kind of understand like you can't do shit in this hotel.
Yeah.
It's not until the one gets her punishment for doing what she did that it's actually like 100% like curtain back. This is what the Continental is. Like,
Yeah.
Because like they kind of show like going into the beginning, like he goes into like the club and he talks to the owner and you kind of get an idea about what's going on there, but they don't really say it outright. And then later on they show like a fight and then you see the reaction to the fight and you're like, okay, well, he's in the same line of work, and then the end happens and nay.
Yeah.
It's a hotel for assassins so they can, chill and
Right. So they can like I don't know, I think that's so clever. And they do such cool things with the concept of the Continental in the next couple movies, and I love it. Because like not only does it blow out John Wick's character, it blows out the world that they have. And I love that.
I think they're doing a Continental TV series on USA.
How is that gonna pan out on USA?
I don't know, but they're also doing a Jason Bourne universe series on USA.
Do they need to do these things?
No,
Can I just like the things I like without the
can.
rest of it?
does USA need to make money and stay relevant as a TV station? Yes.
No.
I mean, when they put their stuff up on Hulu anyway, like it doesn't really matter, does it?
Right. Here's the thing. They did Burn Notice, and they did Burn Notice well. They can be done.
They keep as long as they keep pumping out psych movies every few years, I'm happy.
Oh, that's them? Yeah, keep going.
Yeah.
All right.
Psych
I'm on
movie
board.
2 coming December.
I need to watch the first one.
Oh, you haven't seen the first one? It's
Good?
it's fun. It's sad because
Good.
Lasseter's not in it that much.
Yeah, but I heard he's in this one more.
Yeah, he will be because he's recovered from his stroke. So,
Good.
all right. So, the manager of the hotel is played by Lance Reddick. Did you
Was that
recognize
his name?
Yeah. Did you recognize him, Devon?
I did from that time he was in Hellboy.
Oh, just Hellboy.
He's one of those actors that he's also in Deadwood, right?
I don't know about Deadwood. I'm thinking of two big things. One that I know you and I watched together.
What is it?
Lost.
Who is he in Lost?
So, spoilers for Lost. In season 4, when Hurley's in the mental institution, and they're doing this, it's the season where the boat comes to the island and there's those people.
Yeah.
He shows up in the
Yeah.
mental institution. He's like, whatever happened to that boat? Like, just asking Hurley, like, what happened to that crew?
Oh, that's him?
That's him. He worked for.
Wow.
I need to go back and rewatch it, but he worked for the Hanzo Foundation, or that's what his front was. He was like the connection that got that boat to the island.
Oh, that's cool.
I remember everyone was theorizing, oh, that's Walt all grown up and time traveling. Like, he was just like a mysterious figure who showed up on Lost, and there was no explanation for like 2 years. And I don't think there was one. But he was also on Fringe, if you watched that.
I didn't watch Fringe.
Fringe is good. I recommend Fringe. I think you would enjoy Fringe. I think you like J.J. Abrams.
I do.
So like, it's produced by him. It's got it's like Lost meets the X-Files.
Oh.
So
yeah, all right.
It's worth it just for John Noble.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, he plays the manager. You got Ian McShane in here playing. I don't even know. Well, how would you describe Ian McShane in this? Like, his character.
Currently Googling Ian McShane.
He's the guy from Devon.
Oh, he's the guy from Hellboy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mixed those two actors up. He's like in charge of the Continental, right?
Is he?
I don't want to spoil the other movies, but yeah, he's in charge of the Continental.
He might be.
Yeah, I figured he was the owner. I mean, owner operator.
Well, because we don't see him in the first, like, when he first walks into the Continental. Like, is he?
Oh,
so I guess he's
yeah.
like the head of that organization. Then, like the.
I don't want to spoil the other movies for you.
Okay, that's fine.
The other movies make his position within the organization extremely, extremely clear.
I think we messed up. We should have just done the whole trilogy in one episode.
I know, right? But no, he owns the Continental, or
Okay.
at least manages it.
Yeah, because that's kind of how I took it. That like how they showed him at the club, and then how they showed him at the end. I figured that like, you know, there's probably somebody over him, but he's the one that manages that hotel, and if something goes wrong, it's his ass on the line, so he has to take care of it. Like, that's how I took all of that. You know, and the fact that because John Wick came back for something personal, that's why he did him the favor and slipped him the note with his like drink that he had at the bar. And then I love the phone call he gave to Wick. Because of my position, I can't tell you that there's a certain person having a certain helicopter fueled at a certain spot. Like, I love that. That was perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that was great.
Yeah, and that's what gets back to what I was talking about. Like, it's like the smart moments in between the action scenes, like getting to those action scenes. It's more interesting to me than the scenes themselves. Like,
So here's... Go ahead.
Okay, no, you go ahead.
Here's what I love about the action scenes. I mean, yeah, the gun fu that he does is really neat, and like that's like I haven't seen a lot of that. So like the first time I watched him like tackle a guy to the ground and then like use him as cover was neat. But the movie does a really good job of signaling what's happening in the action through the use of color. And the best scene in this movie is that the club scene. So in the movie, the motif is that anything blue is against John and anything red is for John. So any bad guy that ever gets a punch on John or hurts him in any way is wearing blue in some way, shape, or form. Anyone that he just mows down is wearing red. People wear red ties. They wear the red shirts. When he walks into the nightclub is lit up blue. And as he slowly kills everyone through it, you see more red mix in, and then when he leaves it at the end, it's completely red. Like the lights in the club scene are completely red. And like that's the kind of stuff that like the action does get much. Like watching people gung fu for like 20 minutes gets to be a little bit boring, but it's that kind of stuff that keeps me invested in the movie.
And I will say this movie does a good job of not cutting those action scenes, the gung fu to hell. Like you can kind of follow the action when it does cut. Like it's not like I think when they first invade his house, there's a good chunk of time where it's just one shot. Like it's maybe not one shot like continuous, but it's easy to follow the action and follow where John is in that house. Whereas some movies will have, like I think Taken 2 has a scene where Liam Neeson jumps a fence.
I was just going to mention that.
And there are 20 cuts of him in the 5 seconds it takes him to jump the fence.
Yep. Did you get that from Honest Trailers, or did you get that because that's just like a known cinema thing?
I think that's just a known editing thing. And
and
if I brought up the Bohemian Rhapsody thing again, Ryan's going to kill me.
I am going to kill you. I'm already glaring at you for even mentioning it.
I didn't though.
Okay, so but yeah, no.
But that's not an action scene.
No, I know,
yeah.
I know. The thing with the gunplay, gun fu, both of you looking at you negatively.
That's a thing. That's a term.
Gun fu is an actual
Kung
term.
Fu, yeah.
Yeah, because of these movies.
Who came up with this gun fu thing?
So in the Matrix, one of the programs that they have Kung Fu, and then right below it is Gung Fu.
It's actually in the Matrix. It's actually in the shot, in the scene, in the thing where he's downloading everything into his brain.
I'm just messing with you. No, it's not.
That's why I'm asking.
No, it is a term that I've seen used before.
Okay.
To describe like the kind of fighting that is in this.
Okay. So when it comes to that, the one thing that I knew about this movie and these movies before even talking about them with you guys is the fact that Keanu Reeves trained in close counter. I really don't want to use the term kung fu.
Wasn't it Krav Maga?
Not Krav Maga. I'm talking about guns. He trained in close counter fire situations. There are videos you can find online of him at ranges where they actually practice tactical stuff, where you shoot the shotgun like 3 or 4 times in different directions, you move forward, you put it down on its sling, you pull up your sidearm, you shoot at what you're looking at, then you bring up another weapon and go through. Keanu has gone through this stuff and he knows what he's doing. And in this movie, they showed that. There are a few times when they do the whole Hollywood gun thing and they don't show them taking the safety on and off, or they don't show them really, and they don't show how long it actually takes to put a magazine or put a clip into a gun. And in this movie, they did. Like, they made it a point when he was behind the SUV in front of the church. They made it a point to show how long it actually takes to put a magazine / clip into a firearm. Because that scene was like 2 to 3 seconds where they actually showed him take out the bottom one, put up the other one, and lock it in place. In most movies, they don't even show that.
Is that after he knocks somebody down and the guy's getting back up, and by the time he's up, he shoots him again because he reloaded? I know that happens at one point.
That's a different scene.
Okay.
I like that one. That one happened just after the club scene.
Yeah. I'm talking about when he's out front of the church.
Okay.
And the father's there, and he's trying to take him down, but then the older brother comes in with the other black SUV and like pushes the one SUV next to him, and he flies across the parking lot. But like they actually show several times when he's dealing with his pistols, like he's putting the rounds in and he's hitting the button to lock it in place, or he's taking the safety off. Like, he's doing all of these things they don't normally show in these films. And I loved that. And they actually showed him do the whole sling thing where he had the he had the assault rifle and he dropped it on the sling. He brought up his sidearm and shot like 3 people with it. Then he spun around and the sling went out and he caught the gun again. Like, this is all stuff that he's been training for, and that was him. Like, that wasn't some like gun expert. Like, he's been training for this for years. And I mean, he could compete because there's actual competitions for this stuff, just like for clay shooting. And for like the competitive rifle shooting they do down at Camp Perry every year, where it's just like 100-yard and 200-yard competitive shooting with like 22s. Like, they have tack stuff, and he could do it. He's that good. Like, that's all him. Like, that's one thing I know. Like, when it comes to the gun stuff, they did not use a stunt person.
Plus, he's the one.
Well, true.
He's also the one.
But yeah, but that's one of the things I was most impressed with this movie, because you don't see a lot of like actual like gun handling, like true gun handling.
Yeah.
Like in reality, and they showed that in this, and I was happy about that.
Even outside of the guns, like that close hand-to-hand combat is really good too.
Oh yeah, it all is.
Yeah, I think that shows because the director of this was the stunt coordinator on The Matrix.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think he was the director. I don't think he did 2. I think it's a different director for 2. But actually, no, there were 2 directors on 1. 1 is uncredited. But all right, so what else is there to talk about with John Wick?
So I have theories about each of the John Wick movies, and some of them are informed by people on the internet, and some of them are like just things that I like, keep kind of predicating based on what I think, like what they've said.
Okay.
Each John Wick movie is a blend of 2 genres, I believe.
Okay.
And again, part of this is what I believe, and part of it's what I hear on the internet. Number 1, I solidly believe, is a mythology action movie. I think number 2 is a musical video game, and number 3 is a ballet western. But if I were to tell you that I think number 1 is like a mythological action movie, in such that he is literally fighting Mount Olympus, such that he's working his way to the top. You have like Zeus, who's at the end, like that's like the guy, he kills his son. He's like smited by the sun. One of the places that he kills like a bunch of people is like in like a hot tub area, which
like
could be an
Greek
analog
bathhouse
for like Poseidon.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I strongly think that's a thing here. And I think that's a motif they're going for. And I think part of that is in number 2, a character that's new to number 2 walks past the Greek gods that he kills in this movie, or that like they're analogs for in this movie.
Makes sense to me, because every single time he goes into a fight, like it goes up in level of intensity. The scenery is very specific. I mean, to me, I thought that the son's friend playing the video game at the safe house was kind of like an allude to like, look, this is a video game movie, because every time he gets into a fight, it gets harder and harder, just like a video game levels would.
It could be both.
Yeah.
Like there's definitely like parallels to both. So you're fighting the gods and they're getting harder and harder, but you're also fighting new bosses each level.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
I can definitely see it.
Yeah, I mean,
and then you've got like the mini boss before the actual boss would be the mayhem guy versus like,
Yeah. I mean, in number, okay, that's the one thing I wanted to bring up. I'm going to drop my analogy quick. How did you guys feel about him actually killing, and like how satisfying do you think was the death of the son? So like the one criticism I'll hear leveled against this movie is that death in particular was pretty anticlimactic. He sees him, he's in the foreground, John Wick shoots him in his stomach, he comes up, he like says a thing, and then he walks away.
I mean, I think at that point he's more out for his father than anything.
Yeah.
Because his father's the one who turns on him completely and like puts the hit on him. So once that happens, I don't think Theon is the main goal. I think he's just an obstacle on the way to that main goal.
Got it.
I I can see that. I also feel that his rage, in a way, is part of it too. Plus, how they reverse tropes, like you're saying before. Like everybody's expecting John to like spill his heart out and like just really like mouth off at the guy, when really his plan was to kill him.
Yeah.
Like his revenge was just to kill him. So a shot in the stomach and a shot in the head right away, even though, yeah, it's not the best for an action film for the guy that, ended, the one that basically
Killed
gave
the
the
dog.
order who gave the order to kill the dog. That's exactly how it should have go. Like, there shouldn't be anything said. It'd just be, you're dead. Like, that's it. And then, of course, at that point, too, he has the hit out on him. So at that point, it's, I'm going to take care of the son, then I'm going after you. So.
Any other? Do you have any other theories you want to share with us that aren't too spoilery for 2 and 3?
Those are the only ones that aren't spoilery for 2 and 3, because once we start talking about things that I don't think I thought about as in depth if I just took one at face value, like the coins or like the Continental, like those kinds of things. Like, once we start talking about that kind of stuff, I have a lot of other theories and a lot of other like talking points. But like, what did you guys think about the coins?
I liked how the coins were used as bartering for everything within the assassin's lifestyle. Because one thing I like about this movie that they don't show in a lot of other action movies is, yay, got a bunch of dead bodies in my house, and then boom, they cut to the person going on a plane out to Europe or something. They don't explain how, so what's going to happen when the maid shows up in 3 days, or when your neighbors start complaining in a week and a half because there's 6 rotten bodies in your living room because you just killed them all. Like, they actually showed that, hey, look, there's a cleaning service that comes in and takes care of that. And I think it was a coin for each body, because
it's what it seemed like. Yeah.
Because when the owner or the owner operator of the hotel gets the one body cleaned up, he just gives that old guy 1 coin, but Keanu gave him like 7.
Yeah, I think it was 12 bodies, so I don't think it was actually a coin per body. So do we learn more about the history of the coins and what they mean?
All of it.
Okay. Sweet.
All of it. What not only do they expand on like John Wick and you learn more about him, but you learn more about the world of the assassins, the Continental, the coins, like everything that might have seemed intriguing in here. They're like, yeah, we'll talk about all of it.
Sweet. So I think I told you about this when it happened, but they did do a Fortnite crossover with John Wick.
Yeah, and they had his house, right?
His house is still in the game. So if you go into the basement of his house, there's a panel on the floor where if you break it open, there's like 3 loot chests where you can get guns. It's fantastic. But they also put in the Continental at one point.
Oh.
So they had the Continental in the game, and if you walked into the Continental, you couldn't shoot anyone. You couldn't do damage to anybody. It was a safe zone. So
that's so cool.
But they had a mode where you could, for each kill, you collected coins. Whoever had the most coins by the end of the game won. And they had a bunch of rewards for it. So one of the rewards was a back bling of just the coin.
Oh.
So I got that. Yeah, I play Fortnite. Don't judge me. I actually haven't played in a while.
Are you okay?
Yeah,
all right?
I've been busy.
All right.
I've got like 12 podcasts to edit.
It's true.
No, if you ask my wife, me not playing Fortnite's not a bad thing. I've actually been going hard into Arkham Asylum, or no, Arkham Knight.
I haven't played that one.
It's fantastic. I got it for like $10 off of Steam on a Steam sale with all the DLC.
I was one of those dumb people that's like, "Well, the PC port was bad, so I'm not playing it."
They fixed it. They fixed it.
I'm sure they fixed it. Like, I'm just.
I was on Steam, and it says you haven't been on Steam in like a year and a half.
Yeah, I haven't. It's sad.
I've never been on Steam.
You should get on Steam. Steam's fun. Computer games.
We should all get together and just play Star Wars Battlefront 2 from 2005.
Oh, the good one. Yeah. Oh, yay. Okay, we're all on board.
I'm just saying, like, I've got my games that I play, and I don't play them that often. That's why I don't have Steam. I have my console, and I have my 4 games I play, and I'm fine.
Speaking of consoles, Look what my in-laws brought the other week.
Oh.
PlayStation
Whoa,
1.
that's really cool.
It's my wife's PlayStation that
Aw,
I
that's
have
so
just
neat.
not set up yet. I'm going to set it up on the monitor that we watch Devon on and just play Crash Bandicoot all the time.
Oh, that's all you need to play on it all the time.
Crash Bandicoot, Spyro the Dragon. I'm set.
Oh, you're having a good time.
Yep.
We're talking about a movie, right?
Yeah, well, I think so. John Wick.
One thing I
yeah.
wanted to bring up was the cars, the vehicles.
I have an issue
yeah.
with the cars, but go ahead and say what you're going to say.
So he drives a Mustang at first, and a very, very nice Mustang, I should say. I'm not a Ford person, I'm not a Mustang person, but if I could have a Mustang, it would be the 1969 GT.
I thought it was a 70.
That's what the Russian thought,
Okay.
and Keanu corrects him for the 69. And then he gets a Chevelle. That is my favorite Chevy. So
Oh, yeah?
I was happy to see that. And then he gets like a high-end newer Dodge, like Challenger, Charger, whatever, the 4-door sport car. I'm
Yeah.
happy that thing got destroyed. I'm just saying.
You like the Chevelle better.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry, but you go from having the two of like the 5 most iconic muscle cars of all time, and then you get like a modern Dodge, like family sedan, like kind of a sports car thing. Like they should have kept the theme going.
He goes from champagne to LaCroix.
Go some champagne to White Claw.
White Claw. Oh, that's a better one.
So I have an issue with the gas station scene.
I didn't even
I think I know
about
what
the
it
gas
is, and I think I
station
picked it
scene,
up.
what?
So the plates on John Wick's car all say New Jersey. So why is he pumping his own gas?
Oh, I didn't pick up on that. That's a good point.
Because the majority of people in this country do, and I think if they
Not in New Jersey.
No.
not allowed.
I know that. What I'm saying is that the majority
Oh.
of the country, except for like New Jersey and maybe one other state, don't pump their own gas. Like
Yeah.
everybody pumps their own gas, except for New Jersey and like one other state.
Yeah.
I feel that it was just a thing to have them like talk together because they probably filmed in Jersey or the cars from Jersey. And that's why they have the Jersey plates
I mean,
on it.
they're right outside of New York, so it wouldn't be. It's set in New Jersey.
It's set in Jersey.
So I think it's just. I have an issue with it. John Wick is
issue.
fake news. I mean, it's just a continuity thing. Like it's a factual error. It's probably just because they needed him outside the car.
They needed him outside the car. They needed him to interact.
They needed to have that meet cute, if you will.
Aw, that was a meet cute.
Is that a movie term?
No, kinda. It's like in a romantic comedy where the wedding planner meets the guy and thinks he's cute.
Okay.
And like has a crush on him.
It was a meet cute,
but
for
she
the
doesn't
car.
know that he's the groom that she's about to work for. Like
Yeah.
that kind of thing. It's
Yeah.
it's like a
You're
nice.
"Ah."
It's like them meeting and like
It was a meet cute for the car. That's what it
sure.
was.
No, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it was a meet cute for the car. But I mean,
Uh,
seriously, like to me, that's for like a movie thing. That's like that would be like me having an issue with the Dark Knight movie because all of the cars have Illinois license plates, but it's the skyline of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, you know what?
I
I
mean,
get that.
That
Okay.
I feel like that
That's-
irritates me more than this irritating you.
the skyline in the Dark Knight trilogy is the most effed up geological mess.
It's everything.
Like, oh,
Like just doing the skyline for the football stadium in Pittsburgh, and then having all of the cars having the Illinois license plates screws the entire thing.
I mean, they don't really ever say what state Gotham is in, so
Gotham would be so much more disappointing
Gotham's
in Illinois,
supposed to
though.
be New York.
not as disappointing as if it was Pittsburgh.
Oh, I mean, absolutely. But like, I don't know. How does I live in Gotham, Illinois? Like, I don't know. I don't love that.
No.
No, like
Gotham, it's New York.
No,
That's what I thought.
I always thought, and even reading on fan sites, that Gotham in this like like DC universe is basically swapped out with New York City. Like New York Manhattan doesn't exist,
Okay.
and it's Gotham.
Okay, this is going to be interesting. I've always been of the mindset that Metropolis is New York and Gotham is like New Jersey.
Like Jersey City.
Like probably like closer to like where Atlantic City is.
So further down.
So further
the
down.
coastline.
So Jersey or Delaware. Like
Okay.
in the DC universe, there's actually something to do in Delaware, and it's crime.
You know
Devon,
what?
are you
According
looking-
to Wikipedia, you're right, Alan.
Which one, Delaware or Jersey?
It's Jersey.
Yeah.
In that Metro City or Metropolis is across the street
Yeah. So
or across the river.
I guess in Batman v Superman, Metropolis would be New York, and then Gotham would be Newark, because it's right across like the river. You could see it's just a quick flight for Superman,
Yeah, like literally seconds.
but far enough away that they have their own newspaper and like own crime bosses and stuff.
Own everything. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. That part
Yes.
makes it tough for me.
So
But whatever. I'm not.
to backtrack half the way on this.
Yes.
But yeah, so I understand you like seeing the Jersey license plates and going there pumping their own gas and having that like stick in your head. I get it. I understand it. Because whenever I watch The Dark Knight, which is very rarely at this point, when I see the Pittsburgh skyline and they cut to where he's driving cars that say Illinois on streets that I have walked down in Chicago, that irritates the crap out of me, like to no end.
I mean, I think in Dark Knight, it's more acceptable in Dark Knight than it is in Dark Knight Rises, because they filmed that all over the place. But Dark Knight was Chicago and Chicago only.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just
Or
like,
I might be thinking of Dark Knight Rises. I get all those movies.
Dark
crossed
Knight
back and
Rises is
forth.
all over the place.
Yeah. Because didn't they flip the semi truck in Pittsburgh?
No, that
Or
was
was that
that was
Chicago?
Chicago.
That was Chicago. Yeah. See. Okay. So yeah, it was the Dark Knight Rises. That's the one that gets under my skin because it's like
Chicago, New York.
Chicago,
Pittsburgh.
New York, Pittsburgh. Like there's no like.
No
there's
offense,
no-
Devon, but one of those things is not like the other.
Oh, it's absolutely not. Pittsburgh, I love you, but it's not the same.
If they would have like used Pittsburgh for Gotham instead of Chicago and stuck with Pittsburgh, I would be okay with that because everything would be similar. The architecture would make sense.
I really okay. So going off on a tangent on the Dark Knight Rises, I really think Christopher Nolan did not care about that movie.
No, I don't think he did at all.
I think he
Because-
was contracted. He was contracted to do it and had to, but like Devin, we were in that football stadium.
I know.
They
I know.
didn't care. Like there was a
No.
cool sequence and all, but they left like the Heinz logo in there. Like the
Uh-huh.
stadium wasn't even like they didn't even throw the CG in there for it.
Nope.
Like
They didn't care. They were like, whatever, we're just doing it here.
He's like, I got a movie I want to make with Matthew McConaughey. Let's just wrap this up. And
Well, and doesn't at one point he like references like a real football team too? Like or like for some point like they were like, oh well, we're going against the Gotham City, Gothams or whatever, and they're like, oh yeah, but then the Patriots next week, and it's like, why are we in a world where the Patriots exist now?
Well, because the Patriots.
I'm trying to like find what the line is, and I can't find it.
yeah, I don't know. Like
I just found it funny that they actually got Pittsburgh Steelers players to stand on the sideline for that.
Oh,
I mean, Heinz Ward is the one who's actually running with the ball and
Yeah, I
did
know.
the stunt. Like
Yeah.
it's
And
he
there's
got
a
to drive
bunch
on
of
top
other.
of the Batmobile that one time we saw him.
yeah.
And there's a bunch of other Steeler players too, like in that pan shot when they're all on the
Oh, yeah.
sideline. Those are all Steelers players, like
Mhm.
not just him.
Yeah. Anyway, John Wick. So the movie has a happy ending. He gets a dog that's not dead.
Yeah,
That he
adopts it.
randomly steals
the-
from a lab, an experimental
A vet.
lab.
It was a vet, right?
So he stole somebody's dog.
Well,
Yeah, I mean,
or was it a stray? Like I feel like John Wick's a
I-
good enough guy that he would make sure he wasn't stealing somebody else's dog.
No,
I thought it was. I always took it as like it was a shelter, and like it was in my head canon. It's a high kill shelter, and he knew it's a high kill shelter, and he got him out. But it's probably just a dog shelter.
If that's a dog shelter, I want to know what their monthly rate is. That thing was either an that place was either an experimental lab or a vet. And if it was a lab, yes, he got the dog out and he should have taken the rest of the dogs with him. If it was a vet, he stole somebody's dog. And Keanu in this movie is a good guy for being an assassin. But I wouldn't put it past him to be like, oh, this dog looks cute, I'm taking it.
Okay.
I'm with you. No, I'm with you.
Okay. So a little bit of fantasy sequel stuff. John Wick versus, what's the fight that you want to see the most? Who do you want to see fight John Wick? Movies or television? What character?
Gerard Butler in Olympus Has Fallen. That character.
Okay. That's a good one. Ryan, do you got one?
Sylvester Stallone from First Blood.
Rambo?
Yes.
Rambo before
Alan?
he was Rambo. Rambo from First Blood.
What about the Weird Al parody of Rambo against John Wick?
No, I'd rather...
Damn it, you stole mine. No.
No, I would rather... If I was going to do a funny one, I would rather do the parody that they did of Rambo in Hot Shots Part 2.
With Charlie Sheen.
With Charlie Sheen. I'd rather have Charlie Sheen being Rambo fighting John Wick than have Weird Al playing Rambo fighting John Wick.
Good.
All right. Devin, I think you'll appreciate this one more than Ryan will. Jack Bauer.
Oh. Oh, man. There'd be so much whisper yelling.
Yeah. And
I love it.
The gung fu would just be crazy.
It would be good. Yeah. That's a good one.
I'm excited. I'm excited for to watch 2 and 3 now.
I can't wait to hear what you guys think. If we don't do a podcast on it, I at least want to talk to you guys.
Yeah. I don't think we'll do one on 2. I think we should at least watch to 3 so we can do it at the end of the year. Because I feel like that is going to be at the top of our list.
You guys got to watch it.
Yeah. All right. So I think that's it for this week for You Have to Watch This podcast. I'm Alan.
I'm Ryan.
I'm Devin.
And we'll see you next week. Bye.